Hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk. I'm James Rink. It is May 29th, 2018. And when this is uploaded, it probably won't be that date, but hopefully I'll do a little bit better as time getting this up in a timely manner. I do apologize to the audience members for being a little slow on uploading. I've had some really bad issues with my video editing software, and but I'm getting over these troubleshooting issues. I do want to mention we have Jessica Ariel Morocco with us today, and her website is Readings by Ariel. She is a clairvoyant, intuitive, and I guess she has channeling as well. Jessica, why don't you do a quick introduction of yourself for the audience members?
Hello, James. Thanks for having me here again today. My website covers a lot of the information that I share with people, helping them for clearing obstacles and also working with some of the areas that have to do with whether it's karmic or try to problem solve psychic intuitive information and helping them identify some of their starseeds connections and so forth. I mean, it's unlimited, some of the questions that I can deal with. I also wanted to share with everyone that I just opened up a YouTube channel at Jessica Ariel Morocco, and there will be new shows. I'm reformatting my show, and we'll be doing more things online as pre-record shows as opposed just to on Mo Spirit Radio. So there'll be some changes coming up, but thank you.
Yeah, Jessica, could you comment a little briefly about what happened with your previous show on Wolf Spirit Radio?
Well, I think that, sometimes things come at a crossroad, and of course it's amicable. There's no direct problems, but sometimes people have, get a little weary or tired and have some things going on in personal life. So JP is taking a little bit of a sabbatical, so I'll probably just continue providing my information and, with much love and peace, we just sort of, kind of do whatever we have to keep on doing. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. And I also want to introduce Peter the Insider. Peter the Insider works for the ACIO, the Alien Contact Intelligence Organization, which is responsible for communicating with different extraterrestrial beings as well as interdimensional, and there's probably a few other, maybe from other parallel realities. And the ACIO is, I suppose you're based out of Australia. You want to comment about that, Peter?
Yes, the crazy stuff is going on all around the world. Just by the way, hello to every listeners. And the fact is that I don't know what the heck is going on because technically, I don't know, like 7 or 8 private corporations are active at the same time, and they were edgy enemies, and now they are all cooperating all together because they are creating some plan. I don't know which kind of plan it is, but there is definitely certain complicated pattern. I don't know what the heck is going on there. Recently, I never talked about it. Very, very strange and then hidden and dangerous corporation called Mobius showed up, and they are messing around with people's heads, installing them implants and chips, and of course, weird stuff is that they send an agent. He was an elite sniper, and he was about to eliminate Meghan Markle and Prince Harry on their wedding. And since Rachel Amber was a young woman freed from monarch slavery, showed up on crime scene, if you want to call it that way, they stopped this action. And the question is why? Because she told me that there was her alter from C reality, was technically not second but third reality, and she's her name is Rachel Chamber. What's just a little bit symbolic because a chamber is in English like for what, like prison cell? Am I right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The word for prison cell. So was it some sort of warning? I don't know, that we will end up in prison. I don't know. Respectively, we don't know what the heck is going on there. And just by the way, they told, and they created another version of Matrix called STEM. You know, I am talking about Mobius. And now they are making AI to do it, because it's like RA what? RA9, and we don't know what the heck RA9 means. It's so weird. These three symbols, you know. And the problem is that this not normal R, but reverse R. What's in, just by the way, in Russian alphabet, so technically it's like in Cyrillic, means yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like A and I. Yeah. So yeah means something like I. So technically I am, and 9, I don't know what 9 should be stands for. I don't know. But yeah, this means like I, at least from our point of view. I mean, I'm talking about like ACIO, you know. But it's so weird.
Yeah, well, Rachel Amber's initials is RA. Is that connected?
Maybe yes, maybe not. We have no goddamn clue, because this is so weird. So weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could be Ra, the being Ra, or it also, since you're saying the R sounds like a Yah sound, could it be Yahweh?
Maybe yes,
God,
maybe yes. I don't know.
God kind of energy over these, they're android beings, right? Is that correct?
Yes, that's another stuff. Yes, you are right. Exactly.
Peter, can you please explain to the audience members who this Rachel Amber is, or is it Chamber?
No, she's Amber, and her author from Seriality is Chamber, and she was rescued from monarch slavery in like 4 months ago, and there is like group of approximately 80 people, young people. They were freed from monarch slavery in Middle Eastern Europe. What is like Czechoslovak Republic, Poland, and Hungary. You know, they were kept in military underground facilities. You know, and just by the way, people in these countries have no goddamn clue that such facilities was built down there. You know, so everything of this is so weird, and I believe that it's definitely not a coincidence.
All right. Now, can you explain? I guess you don't know why Rachel. Well, I guess you know Rachel was there to protect the royal couple, but you don't know why the royal couple was being targeted.
Yeah, the stuff, because technically, Mobius are, you know, they are taking orders, and they got financial support from the same species royal family is like. I'm talking about lizards. So I was like, okay, but why they wanna kill their member of their kind in the first place? This has no logic, you know. That's crazy.
But you said that Mobius is actually a corporation in the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
Home based. When this is a group that was located there, and they sent someone out, but they're looking to move over here now.
You are not right technically, because they moved already.
They already moved, right? Okay, but they're originally from the UK, or at least based there.
Yes, that's true, because they did these crazy experiments to people. They went crazy, and they were kept in this uh, formerly abandoned, like, how can I call it, like mansions or something like that in US Midwest. And this video footages was absolutely crazy, because they tortured these people and they believe that some sort of reason why these people were kept so isolated. I'm talking about like deviation, lunatism, all kind of this stuff, that they believe that souls of these people were special in some sort of way, and uh, they used to tie them to these, help me the word, trip chairs, if you want to call it that way. And there were like this crazy crown, I mean, like crown with nails and needles, or all around their heads, and so much sensors and something like that. I'm talking about that because I saw many of these videos made from GoPro cameras, or you know what I mean, from helmet cameras of these soldiers. They were sent there, and no one survived. That's crazy, because this weird entity. We talked about it, Jessica.
Mhm.
He's known just as Ruvik. He took everything over, or it took everything over. I'm talking about it like about him, because he looked like a male.
The one with the cape, the one with the weird cape.
Yep, exactly. And the fact is that some investigative reporter uh, go to when approach this one of these facilities. He went down there for like 2K16, or maybe like in the edge of 2K16 to 2K17, I don't know exactly. And Ruvik spared him because of some weird ass reason. And these hard drives, it was like hard drives put out of laptop or something like that. They were uh, uh, um, they were found. What was like 5 or no? Yes, it was like something like 5 or 6 miles away from border of Area 51, by some people. They were, I mean, YouTubers. They were curious if Area 51 is real or not, and something like that. They made also called banned footage. It was like, once they upload to their YouTube channel full version, it was every single time it was deleted. So they call it banned footage. They make some censored version, if you want to call it that way, and you can see that on YouTube till nowadays. And the fact is that they were shocked that, like, what the heck is that? And they were a couple of these like some sort of hard drives, and on these hard drives, they were these video footages. I mean, tons of hours of, like, video footages. And then they were like, okay, what the heck is that? They sent it to local authorities, and that's the way how we get to these video shootings, and in the first place, I was really shocked how they treated these patients. It was crazy, almost like they were not human, because they were so cruel.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is. And
Peter,
these weird circumstances, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Peter, can you comment why Mobius was taken over by this being?
It's very easy, because revolution eats its own children. You know what I mean? Something like that. Because they created something really powerful, and they simply don't realize, respectively they realized, but it was very much too late what they created.
Do you think this was an offshoot of Massive Dynamic or perhaps Monarch Solutions?
At least from my point of view, either one of them or both of them in cooperation, mutual cooperation.
What about the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Is there any?
Yes, something like that. Something like that.
But apparently they're doing business as usual, just like Monarch would abuse and torture people. They're torturing their own still.
Yeah, but tell me, why they are torturing people, and what's the benefit of it? I don't know. It's so weird. I mean,
Yeah.
because there will be logic there if they will gather some information or some, I don't know, like scientific progress or new technology, but they seems to be like stuck on the same place, like they can't move, and even not only like to right direction on front, but not anywhere, like right, left, back, nothing. They are like stuck, and they are very uncomfortable with that, and they are like predator, backed to the corner, and we don't know what the hell will be the reaction.
Well, this being that, the first time I had seen him was a few hours just before we talked, Peter, and I was working with a client, and I saw this being fly in, and like you said, he moves very fast, and he was wearing this cape, and I was like, that's kind of strange. And he had like white hair, but it was kind of like wavy on top, short, and it was short. And I had never seen him before, but I knew he was up to something. And then, when you contacted me, we started talking about it. So maybe their presence here in the U.S., he's starting to do things I don't know if it's just in the area or worldwide, but are you seeing any trends of what's happening since he's arrived?
Yeah, but problem is that it is eating human souls, and I don't know, and I don't know why, but it especially not likes, it especially loves the children's souls. It's like, that's sweet and tasty, because, and I was able to see enjoyment of that. It's like enjoy your meal, because these cameras, I'm talking about these GoPro cameras. He was like, sometimes he was perfectly hidden, and sometimes he was like, look at me, I'm there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wanted to be seen. And yes. The thing that I thought was weird is this was an 80-year-old woman that he was coming around. It was not just a child. But
no, you don't get it. You totally don't get it. He targeted one family, one how can I say that, bloodline, right?
Bloodline, right?
And
This one has bloodline, definitely. Yeah.
give me a sec. And he is not getting for child or children first. No, it's like it's desert for him. No, he's getting for old, either for old or older, oh sorry, oldest or how can I say that, weakest part of family. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know, like sick
Mm-hmm.
or tired people, and then he will eat all the bloodline up, and children, they are like tasty desert for him. That's crazy.
Peter, how can somebody eat souls? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes,
Soul energy.
it makes sense once this somebody, respectively something, is not physical, it's astral. And it can only, it can only make some sort of very weird as physical representation. It's not even incarnation, no, because this sort of people you will never met all around the world. It is not like Caucasian, I don't know, like African or Asian, nothing like that. It's some sort of extremely weird as mix. Is like, what the heck? Are you serious?
Yeah, he was weird.
Yes.
I've seen this albino too with long hair, and I believe he's an Anshar, and I've seen him for years.
Yes.
And I thought it was him at first.
Yes, you are
not.
right.
Of course, the Anshar are vampires.
Right.
Vampire race.
Yes.
Is that what this being is? And what is his name?
I'm talking about the Rulix.
Rulix. So is he an Anshar?
I don't know, but what I know for sure is like the problem is once he is locked up in this, respectively, those facilities. Okay, screw that. None of this is my business. Problem is once he will be set free, we've got a big problem. Believe me.
What happens to the souls of these people that are eaten, or these eaten souls? Do they just disappear from the energy matrix?
Problem is, you are not right, because we were like, okay, we've got we was thinking the same stuff, and that was the same question. Okay, souls can be eaten. No. He created some sort of very weird reflection of souls, right? And he can eat it. He can eat it like, and problem is that he has endless appetite. He can eat every single time, like 24/7, nonstop. That's a question.
I think part of the problem too is that he looks like he could be a good guy. He doesn't look like a bad guy, and it could trick people.
Yes, that's problem. He's very, and it is not only about the looks. I mean, help me, appearance. Mm-hmm. It is about like his kind of behavior. He's very good, very kind, and people can be tricked very easy.
Right. That was the first impression I got about him.
Yep.
It was confusing. I didn't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy.
Why doesn't the numbers groups or these councils that you work with, why don't they do something? I mean, aren't they in charge of making sure stuff like this doesn't take place?
Do you know what's the problem? He's so fast that no one can catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kruger runners are like goddamn slow. It's like friend of mine, he call it like, okay, something like turtle. He got some crazy as, you know, how he call it, like turtle and
Here?
IndyCar. Yes, something like that. Like let you imagine like turtle and IndyCar, and this is it, something like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, because he came in and then he started moving out, and I could see him move out, and then he was gone. Like, I mean, like he just disappeared.
Yes, he disappeared like a smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you know what he loves? He loves to play with balls, especially tennis balls. I don't know what's so special on tennis balls. He stole three of them from my house. Yeah, tennis balls. I don't know why tennis balls.
So to let you know he could take from you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or that he was there.
Peter, can you comment what this Rulix, what his position was before the takeover?
Yeah, he was like master of STEM. What is like technically, he was up to how can I say that? To let control of the core. It was like core keeper, something, you know, like you have matrix and you need to have some source of stability and all kind of stuff, you know. And one great day he was like, are you serious? I want to be a master. And he simply crossed, do you know what I mean, crossed the line, and he did what he did. And everything started to fall apart.
But surely these groups have looking glass technology. They could have looked in the future and realized this guy is going to be bad news.
That's a question, respectively, that's a problem. Why looking glass technology doesn't work anymore? At least not 100%.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Because in previous times, I'm talking about like 1.5 years ago, it will work perfectly. These days, everything fall apart.
Do you have any information if the previous management of Mobius was connected with the royal family?
Definitely, as once again, because Mobius, origin of Mobius, where they have, give me a sec, they have bases on 4 big cities in UK: London, Bristol. I forget another, but technically they were 4 bases, you know, and it's like crap because they moved everything to Canada and the US.
Can you comment about what their? I'm not going to ask you for their mission statement, but what is their what is their goal? What do they want to achieve, or this organization? Are they like a military contractor? Are they?
Yeah, definitely. They are military contractors, because technically, I think they are the common people, especially in US. They need to know the truth, and the truth is that there was budget break for Department of Defense, and it was this break was officially taken off in last year, and only in first quarter this year, what is like from January to March this year 2018, they spend more than twice more money as it was in previous year. So I'm talking about like 2017. So they are technically unlimited, limitless. It's crazy.
Yeah, But they have like 3D quantum 3D computers where they can replicate out of thin air. Why would they even need money? Or am I
Problem is
mistaken?
that mm, other world, respectively normal world, if you want to call it that way, I mean these guys, if you want to call it that way, they are working via fiat money. Fiat money, I'm talking about like money with coins and banknotes, right? So they need to fit with another parts of the world uh, together. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know that you are right on one hand, but on the other hand, they will be totally incompatible and useless once they will will be not able to make some trades, you know, with rest of the world. So this is it.
But they could use their quantum 3D computers to print money, right? Theoretically, or is it not?
You are technically not right, because U.S. government are borrowing money from them. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Because there is no Fed or no Fort Knox or something like that. I mean, yes, of course they exist, but they are not in charge for, I don't know, like printing money or something like that for very long time. I'm thinking about like more than 30 years, something like that.
Yeah. Jessica, did you have any questions about Mobius?
Well, I think for the past month, 2 months, no, I'd say about a month and a half or so, that a few times, probably about 3 or 4 times, I heard the name Mobius. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, Mobius, Morpheus. I didn't know if it was the Matrix. So it's almost like it was starting to come into the field of me picking up the information. I'm not. What concerns me is that there are so many of these corporations in the U.S., and I think we've already been bombarded by quite a bit of it. And there was a reference to Murkoff too in our earlier conversation, Peter. I don't know if that's related.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe you could share with everyone how that comes into play. And that was the one that abducted me when I was a child, that group.
That was the Nazis, Murkoff Corporation. Well, Peter, does that mean Mobius was part of the Nazi apparatus?
No, that was the problem, because that what I saw, at least, because Rachel Amber, not Chamber, Amber has some super zoom, you know, ability that on this sniper rifle, from the sniper, there were runic symbols. Am I right?
Like runic.
Yes, runic symbols. Yeah. And you know, runic symbols were typical for Nazi era. This is it. So,
yeah, I have an Icelandic one on my shirt. You know, if you can. I don't know.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. This is it. Yeah, this is it.
What about like those Nazi concentration camps? What did you call that? The Azabota?
Yeah. But the fact is, it's so weird that all of them, they are way over the polar circle. Do you know? And the very weird, what was extremely weird for me, that they were no guards, even human look guards. Do you know what were their guards? Polar bears. They were huge. They were like, I don't know, like 20, maybe 30 feet, you know, high, and extremely powerful, and we was only able to approach all of these bases on polar area, that we can barely make some video footage, because these huge bears showed out of nowhere. They appeared like just like that, and they were extremely aggressive. But once we get out of their, how can I say that, restricted area, they were perfectly calm. That was crazy. Just by the way, so because this is like, how they are calling it? New Germany? New Germany. Yes, something like that.
We're jumping around quite a bit. Can you explain the connection? I guess I brought up Azabut. I think that's what it's called, is because they had a lot of ruins at this Nazi concentration camp in Alaska.
Yeah, you are right, but technically that's the stuff what I'm talking about, because on Alaska there are 5 or 6, I'm not quite sure, a huge restricted area, federal army I'm talking about, like, and that's weird. Not the US Army on Alaska, not federal army, but this is Federal Army of Canada. Nothing like that exists. I mean, at least official. And this Federal Army of Canada, they are maintaining these restricted areas, like no-go zone, right? And it is Canadian organization on American soil. I was like, there is zero logic in that. So this is why when you mentioned that, why I was bringing all this up. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking like New Germany and all kind of this stuff. And just by the way, it's all these regions, no 5, 6 regions, they are on Alaskan inland. So I'm talking about like not some shorelines. Do you know what I mean? Nothing like that.
Yeah, but this is like from another parallel reality where the Nazis.
No. You are not right. I mean, this was like that. But now these restricted areas are in Alaskan Midland too, in our reality, because it created some bleed-throughs from another reality to our reality. And a problem is we don't know what created this bleed-through. That's a problem.
So are they kidnapping children and bringing it to this facility to train them and program them?
These facilities, because there are yes, there are several ones. Yes, and it's so weird because they are moving one by one between these facilities and restricted areas in Humvees, but with no normal wheels. But it's some chains ones or something like that. I mean, like fit to move on snow and something like that. And there are these huge turrets on the rooftops, and some sort of androids are serving them. And I'm talking about androids because we saw that on some video footage, and it looks like this android from, well, the movie was called iRobot or something like that. So everything is tidying up slowly together. Do you know what I mean? Because this freshly released game, just 6 or 7 days after the wedding, it's how it is calling, like
weird, very weird energy.
How is it calling, like Detroit become human. Everything is something somehow connected together, and the fact is that this robots, if you want to call them that way, are manufacturing already like for 12 or 13 years, but they are way too expensive for a normal household in US. But the very weird fact, because Detroit crashed, economy of Detroit crashed, that like more than 1/3, what is like 35% of Detroit inhabitants nowadays, they are not people, they are these robots. Because they figured out, local authorities figured out that they don't need sleep, they don't need to eat, then they don't need to, to pee and to poo, something like that, nothing like that. And they are way too perfect to be humans. Do you know what I mean? They don't make any grammatical mistakes. They can perfectly speak, I don't know how many languages and all kind of stuff. And all of this happened after Detroit economy crashed. It was like when, 2013, 2014, something like that. So this is definitely not a coincidence. And many people.
But look, Detroit's been going downhill since the 1960s.
Yes, my friend, you are right. But problem is that there was no official crash of economy. I mean, yes, you are right, from 60s, but there was no official crash of economy. It was like 2000, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14.
Does that correspond to the bankruptcy of Detroit?
Yeah, this is it. And no, there is definitely not a coincidence that in these like 3, 4, maybe 5 years, there are so many robots. These people definitely can't afford so many robots. So we believed, because I am talking about in ACIO, the central of ACIO, in Pine Gap, we received a letter from White House that they realized that Mobius, in cooperation with Cyberlife, they are realizing some crazy experiment on whole city, on Detroit. How humans can live respectively without, how can I say that, perfectly working and serving AI. I'm talking about artificial intelligence, because they don't know that. And the CIA suspect Detroit as a targeted city for like since 2003 or 4, because in 2003 invasion to Iraq started, and there was some suspicions from CIA that MIA, what is technically CIA for military purposes, that they stole very advanced technologies from Iraq, and they were settled to Detroit. That's the stuff. I know that it sounds absolutely crazy, but this is storyline, if you want to call it that way. Sorry for that. And this was the main reason why the invasion to Iraq was started. Not mass destruction weapons. No, these advanced technologies. This is it.
So I just need to say something. There's an aspect of James right now talking to me. I think it's his super soldier aspect. I could see him. And he's heading over to Detroit. And he wanted to say something about it. But I could see him. He's ready to go over there. I don't know if there's maybe about 4 or 5 others that were planning on going over there too.
Well, that's a lot of people to take out. I'm I'm not into mass murder or genocide.
No,
They're
you're
not
going
people,
over there
are they?
to. I don't know what you're doing, but you're going over there with 4 or 5 other soldiers.
Are these people? People? Can we say that? Can we classify them as people, Peter?
You know, they've got everything like Constitution, Bill of Rights, rights for, I don't know, like vote to vote, and every single stuff is the same for them as for normal people. So they are robots, they are androids, but on one hand, but they are acting and pretending that they are normal people on the other hand. So it's up to you.
But you would think, like, look at the movie like the Stepford Wives. Okay, so why would they choose Detroit? They could have chose a place like in Connecticut where everything's perfect. Why would they want to live in a dump?
No. Once again, you didn't get it, because Detroit crashed. Nobody.
It's a void.
Sorry.
It's a void, right? There's like nobody wanted to be there, or
Exactly.
people didn't want to be there. So it feels they find a place where there's an absence where people want to exit from, kind of like Chernobyl or something, you know, where everyone
Exactly.
get out of the way and now there's a void and they can throw their experiment right in there.
Yes, you are right. It's something
Buy
like
a house for $1. I said you could buy a house for $1.
Sure, and
Yes.
anyone else would die except for what, a cyborg or you know.
Yes, it is exactly like that. For example, like how can I say that? Addict. I'm talking about people addicted to drug. They will not handle for the price because they need the shot, right? But people, I mean addicted people, they don't get for the shot direct to dealer. No, they send their androids for the shots, but androids always handle the price. They are handling the price. So believe it or not, this is the way how local authorities definitely know for sure, he's android because he's handling the price.
I have some movie trivia just really quick. The movie Suicide Squad with Will Smith was in that, as well as he was a sniper in that movie, and in the movie I, Robot, he was also in that one as well. And just I don't know, trivia piece, and also the Golden Compass movie, where there was a young girl saying wanted to save her friends in the polar area that were going through experimentations. And to help them, they had a giant polar bear that was helping them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just by the way, this video game recently released, very recent, like 4 or 5 days ago. Detroit Became Human. There is, because it is not a linear game, it's like telltale type of game, so different choices and different branches, do you know what I mean, and of story, and there are several parallels. They are very crazy. First one, Alice in Wonderland. So the name of little girl, she was saved from her very bad father, Alice. Then another one, she's behind all the stuff, all the curtain. She's director of Mobius, Kara Sandman. So the android who is saving Alice, the name is Kara, and because they are refugees, do you know what I mean, on the run, and both of them they stopped in some very crazy ass old house. The owner is Zlatko, and this is definitely not a coincidence. He is refugee too because he is from Serbia. Zlatko, the typical Serbian name, and he was attacked because he experimented on these androids, and he built a huge polar bear looked like android, and he was attacked by this android. Once he tried to stop them from going up to Canada. So this is, everything of this is so connected. This is crazy.
What is the name of that game, Peter?
Detroit Become Human.
Okay.
It's very popular. It's very popular. So everything, refugees, the names, going to Canada, from US to Canada, respectively, vice versa. This is not a coincidence, definitely not.
Now, Peter, I wrote a letter to the president, and he did a response back. Were you able to decrypt it, and was that connected to what we're talking about right now?
Yes, definitely, yes. That's
Okay.
the stuff, because I don't want to talk about it with you, and this is it, what I was talking about, that this is it, like encrypted letter from White House. This was encrypted in the text. Do you know what I mean? The stuff that they was afraid, respectively, that they are afraid, why they choose the Detroit as the experimentation field, experimentation area, if you want to call it that way.
So they're concerned that it could expand.
Yes, that it can expand to whole state of Michigan. What will be just a little bit problem,
Yeah. I could see why the president would be concerned. I mean, that's not something you could come out to the American people and say, we got a problem here. Oh, by the way, there's AI technology that's more advanced than you can possibly imagine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is not like in the movie, with flyings to the moon. Oh, Houston, we've got a problem. This is not like that.
Well, can you comment about where these AI machines are coming from? I mean, they're not just reproducing, or can they reproduce?
You mean like no? They are
Like
building
sexual reproduction?
They are building. The problem is that they are building themselves.
Where?
Wow.
In
What do they do?
underground facilities. We believe in Canada, but problem is that we saw very weird 787 Dreamliners. It's it's very new type of Boeings, I mean airplanes, and they, how can I say that? Their piece of metals were built so precisely that we believe in ACIO that it wasn't man-made. You know what I mean? That it was machine-made.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, by some androids. And this type of machines, I mean, these like 6 or 8 pieces, exact pieces, they are, guess you what, only from direct lines from London to DC, then to Boston, and to Miami, I think. Something like that,
Can the ACIO help out the president or
Yeah, we manage a secret meeting with him, but I don't want to say any kind of details because it will be not secret anymore.
Yeah. Well, what about doing like an EMP? Will that knock these creatures out?
That's the problem. No, because they've got some sort of very weird cover, respectively covering it, make them some sort of what, weird protection, respectively. If not protection, then they can recover, you know, for in very short period of time. It's so weird.
If someone was to shoot one of these creatures, would they actually bleed human blood and appear like they're bleeding out like a human?
Sorry?
If someone was to shoot one of these AI robots, would they bleed human blood?
No, they've got what? They've got blue one. Blue one.
Blue. So it's a different kind of blue blood.
Yep.
Do they appear like a lot of circuit boards inside, or is it so advanced that you probably wouldn't even recognize the technology?
Yes, you are right. It's like perfectly human-alike stuff. You know?
Replicated internal organs and
Yep.
blood vessels and so forth.
So they're biological.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the main part of problem.
And is their consciousness hooked up to some kind of supercomputer? Maybe a hive mind?
If you wanna say it that way, yes, yes. And they are organized like ants or beans. Do you know what I mean? They've got hive, and they are highly organized like ants or beans, something like that.
But I mean, if they want to interface with humanity, they're going to have to mimic human behavior. They can't really mimic the ant hive mind.
Yes, of course, but they are always reporting how people interact. Do you know what I mean? And via these interpretations of emotions, this central consciousness, if you want to call it that way, is always teaching how to make better, you know, connections with people, how to behave better and more natural. This is crazy.
Can they morph?
Sorry?
Are they able to morph their body into another form?
Yep.
Is it possible they showed up earlier as a big ant? Because while we were talking, a huge ant showed up.
Yeah. Why?
There was one just in the room here, and I was like, that's an abnormally large ant.
Yeah. They love to explore.
So they're like an extraterrestrial race, maybe created by the insectoids.
Yeah, that's the problem. For example, they love centipedes, cockroaches, and all kind of the stuff. Centipedes, cockroaches, ants. They are insects. They can survive. Help me. Hydrogen bomb attack. You know.
Do they act? But they don't actually have to eat these creatures because they don't need food.
No. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you that they are. How can I say that? Transformed to them because they realized that they can survive extreme conditions. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Are they connected to? Some people get this huge influx of mosquitoes.
Yes.
And do they take blood though? I mean, what's the deal with the mosquitoes? Some people have showed me horrible attacks, like bites everywhere.
Yeah, because they need to collect as much blood samples as they can, because in blood sample or samples, if you want to talk about the plural, there is DNA. There are DNA profiles, respectively, and they need to figure out how the human DNA is working or something like that, because they are talking not how it is but how it is working, because they are machines.
Is Mark Zuckerberg one of them?
Uh, how do you know?
It's just because his eyes.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can. I don't know if you saw that or respectively if you realize that, but he's like chameleon. You know.
Chameleon, you mean?
Yeah, he's like both eyes can move in different directions, and none of the people can do that. Like no, not like that.
So was he originally human and then he was replaced?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow.
Because of because of these eyes, he was compromised.
And Elon Musk as well?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
What
Well, I
about
thought you were friends of Elon, Peter.
The problem is he was technically we make shelter for him, and we let him replace him because we want to see what this piece of plastic will do.
what about you said something about Nicole Kidman and how she's connected or someone that looks like her, I don't know, another.
Yeah. I'm talking about Julie Kidman, respectively Juliet Kidman, and she's from another reality, like her alter, and she's working with Mobius, but technically not with them, but she's our agent inside Mobius. But they already know it, but they don't kill her. I don't know why.
And the plane that you talked about, was it a silver one? Because I saw a silver plane.
Yep,
Okay.
completely silver. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a way we get Rachel Amber on here right now? And so maybe she can.
No, she don't want to talk because they are making their own plans, and it's just a little bit complicated to get on their plans because they are always encrypted in some weird ass, basic planimetry symbols, and I was like, "This is writing? No, these are symbols," and they told me, this is writing, and they now afterwards they started to read that. Crap.
What these runic symbols?
No, just basic geometry symbols. I'm talking about, like, triangle, circle, something like that.
Like platonic solids and
Yep.
yeah.
Something like that.
So Peter, what will happen to humanity if this problem does not, I mean, if it continues in its current trajectory as more and more of these AI robots move into Detroit? What do you foresee happening? I guess you said it will take over the state of Michigan, but then what will happen to humans?
I don't know because they are not killing humans. They are killing humans only in self-defense. That's weird. That's weird because we was about in ACIO. We was about that they will kill all the humans out, but it is not happening like that. So I don't know. We don't know what's their purpose.
Well, do they look for somebody, a human that has died, and then replace the body with this now alive AI robot? Is that how it works?
They are like fresh settlers, and that's the problem because no one wants to live in Detroit, because
all they got to do is look at the records of the real estate dealings and see who's bought all these foreclosures and just check.
Yes, you were right. Exactly.
It wouldn't be too hard to figure out who they are.
Yes, you are right, but they don't care, and that's the stuff.
Who's they don't care? Our government? Our
no,
military?
I'm talking about both sides. The government, either government or respectively these androids, they don't care if they will be spotted or compromised. They are like, screw it.
Okay, so is Mobius behind this takeover with these robots? Or is this a different organization?
The stuff is why Cyberlife, what motivated Cyberlife to make, respectively to produce such a huge amount of androids for no particular reason. There is no logic in that.
So going back to the question, so you don't think it is Mobius? It's another group?
No, I'm talking about Cyberlife, because Cyberlife is organization. They are doing that, but there
that's
is
what
no
it's called,
logic.
Cyberlife.
Yeah, but there is no logic why they are doing this in the first place.
Well, who funds Cyberlife?
We don't know. Nobody knows, because Cyberlife, like that, just appeared of nowhere. They simply
when did it appear?
Okay, in Canada, in US, in UK, Germany, in Australia, many different countries with no logical, like linked, boundaries. It's like, why? What the heck is going on there?
But was all this like in the last 3 years, 4 years? I guess it 2013.
No. I am talking about 1991.
Okay.
That was the year. Just by the way, that it's the when you see the number, it's symmetric. 19 and 91. Do you know what I mean? In the first place, and on the second place, respectively, on one hand, and on the other hand, this was the year when Soviet Union collapsed. Just by the way.
So something opened up at that time.
Yes, of course. And just by the way, in this year,
look at this.
What?
Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1991.
Yeah,
is that connected?
Right. Yes, definitely, it is.
Wow.
It is. And just by the way, like more than 6,000 new portals opened in Portola. And Jessica, tell people what the Portola is.
The Portola, you mean the one out in Nevada that we talked about?
Yep.
And they were the black-eyed beings.
Yeah, tell people about that. Tell people your story. It's very interesting for me.
A friend of mine said that she happened to glance over and see a woman walking across a bridge, and she said that she was like walking awkwardly, like not in a natural step that humans walk in. And she looked over, and then the woman turned and looked at her, and the entire eye was black. And so she asked me, as we drove through the town, she goes, here's the bridge. Can you tell me what you see? And I was looking, and I saw a man seated, like he was someone that like a silver miner or something. He had a hat on, his hair was about shoulder length, and he was sitting, and he was looking at me. Or actually, he was looking down, and when he looked up, his eyes were all black. And I said, I just saw one of them. And I don't know if it's the same one that morphed or if it was a different one. And so, during my trip out in California, my friend just randomly said, well, why don't we go to Lake Tahoe? Have you ever been there? I said, no, I haven't. So she brought me out there, and she goes, well, I wanted you to, she knows I have an interest in some of the Viking history. And she said that, well, there's a Viking house here you might want to look at. And she brought me around the lake to that location. We walked up there, and we were looking at, a placard that has like a little bit of information on, pictures and storyline and history about the location. And what she thought she was showing me the Viking house, instead it was about this hermit that lived on the lake. And when I looked at the picture, the man was sitting exactly like what I saw in my vision. And the same hair length, the hat, and everything. And I stepped back. I was like, oh, there he is. That hermit, that whatever they are, the black-eyed beings. They were right there in Lake Tahoe, but they're also in Portola, California, is the other location where they were seen, and that's literally the name of the town, and it's near a town called Gray Eagle where I stayed. So yeah, I guess they've already stepped in there. And she also told me that there was, I don't know how many towns over, where there was a mass killing of an entire town. The town was very small. It was a very small settlement of people, but every single person was killed in that town. And I stopped in that town, and actually they had a phone booth, of all things. And I stepped in the phone booth just to kind of see if I could pick up anything. But I don't know, it all seemed to be somewhat, influenced or connected by that same energy.
Yeah, but we need to talk about the curse Max told me about. I'm talking about Maxine Caulfield. So she's like leader of group, if we want to call it that way, of these young people freed from monarch slavery in the Middle Eastern Europe. And she talked to me that she was speaking with White Hawk. He was like, the guru, if we want to call it that way, of ancient Apaches, and he told her that white men came and took everything from them, and he cursed the land from million years, and he told that this land will bring the mayhem, suffering, destruction, and pain. And belief, respectively, guess you what, in 1944, on this exact place was first atomic bomb tested.
Yeah, that's right. It was the same location. You're right. I mean, I really wasn't that far from there by Reno. And yeah, she said it was an Apache chief.
Yeah, Apache.
Yeah, so that, and it just brought in like the underworld or some darkness that came through. I don't know. Some people say that it's the species is the Kili, K-I-L-Y something.
Yes.
Yeah. Which are the black-eyed ones. The people know them as black-eyed children because I think they make themselves look like children, like they're innocent.
Yes, like that. Like they will know, people will have no fear, and they will be like very merciful to them because they look like 7, 8, maybe 10 years old children, right?
Yeah, let them in their house, and they don't know, but their energy is not good.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And so this is it. All of this, how can I say that, randomly seem stuff, what is going on side by side, is tied up together somehow. And this is crazy,
All right, I want to mention that cyber in the Terminator movie, it was actually called Cyberdyne Systems. So and then of course you mentioned Cyberlife. Do you think perhaps maybe they're from our future?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any information what year they might have come from, these AI robots?
I don't know. I really don't know, believe me.
Well, why can't the ACIO maybe just pick one up, take them to the base, and dissect it and download it?
Because we are trying to talk with them, and they simply don't want.
Don't want what?
Talk.
You don't want to talk?
Well, but don't you have technologies that can access their databases?
The problem is that they have no databases at all. It is something like very first PC, I mean like personal computer, that they have no hard drives. It is like only RAM, random access memory, and first diskettes, these big ones. And there is no hard drive. Even once there is no hard drive, respectively no SSD, no flash memory, how can you operate with that? You can't extract the memories. It's gone.
So is it like in another dimension? It's interdimensional
Something like
physics.
that.
Do these beings have souls?
I don't know. Respectively, we don't know. That's the problem.
What about these beings that Jessica was talking about, these black-eyed beings? Is that an AI or is that something, is that actual ET, interdimensional?
We believe, we in ACIO believe that they are ETs, but from another dimension.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they don't seem robotic, but definitely have a higher intelligence and knowledge and definitely appear to be a species to me.
Yeah, you are right.
Okay.
And just by the way, in this game, I mean, I'm talking about Detroit Become Human. There is like like it's mind-blowing because one character, he's Afro-American, very big and very similar to Lincoln Clay, and his name is Luther. And Luther, I'm talking like no. His name is Luther, as Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? This is crazy. And just by the way, can you write the name Kara? Yes, this is Kara. Yep.
Do you see the screen? Yeah. So that's Carla.
That's Kara. Yeah, that's Kara.
Okay, Kara.
And can you go to the top? Can you go to the top?
Go up. Him?
Yep.
This guy?
No. Can you? No, he's not him. I'm talking about, this is Marcus. I'm talking about Luther. Can you write it, please? And this is Alice. Yes, this small one is Alice.
What, Luther, like this?
Yeah, like this. And you will see. Yes, this is it. Yeah. And his name is like in Martin Luther King. Do you know what I mean? And he is big and very similar to Lincoln Clay. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
So this guy is one of these AI beings?
Yeah, but good one, believe me.
Oh. And so he could have a soul?
Yeah. And if you will write Alice on the very top of Alice, you will see how the little Alice looked like. Yeah, exactly. This is it. And this is it that I don't want to say she is bad, but exactly what Jessica told, that these small children, they can hijack your mind and all kind of the stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. It's so crazy because they looked so innocent, so good, and they are doing, you know, what they are doing.
So, James, not to change the subject, but we talked about Heather Anderson, and I wonder how this weaves in or doesn't.
Sorry?
There's well, I was bringing up to James our discussion yesterday about Heather Anderson.
Yeah,
and
if she had a facility for, was it Cyberlife? James, maybe you.
Yeah, well, apparently, I guess the story goes is that Heather Anderson was in contact with Ben Murphy, maybe around 2010, I believe, around that area. And he and she worked in an underground base. And what the story goes is that it was actually underneath Orlando, on the northeast side of the town. And they were taking soldiers from Iraq, dead soldiers, reanimating their bodies and trying to make super soldiers out of them. And then what happened?
Yeah, I need to interrupt there because try to think, why not from Afghanistan? Why not from Syria? You know why? Because believe it or not, in Iraq, they found this crazy super technology. They was able to build these androids from. So this is it.
Okay. Well, from the Heather material, which is actually listed on Project Camelot's website still, she mentioned that they actually reanimated dead soldiers. So you're suggesting maybe these were AI that were captured in Iraq?
No, I'm talking about that they have respectively they made them to have implants. I'm talking about, like, machine implants, and they make some sort of advanced humans, if you want to call it that way.
So that would be a cyborg when it's
Yeah,
machine
something
and
like
human.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
something.
So apparently they were successful at reanimating these soldiers. And then what happened is word got from the higher ups that they had developed a new technology that they could clone human flesh around titanium bones, which I guess now it's more advanced bones than titanium. And then she was given the order to terminate all these reanimated soldiers. And she developed a friendship, a relationship to a lot of these people down there. And she refused to do it. So I'm not sure. I guess she got fired or whatnot, but eventually they terminated all these soldiers, and their bodies were put into tanks where they extracted the omega-3, and then it was sold under Merck Pharmaceuticals as a food supplement, omega-3 food supplement. So the reason I'm bringing that up is you should never purchase any omega-3 food supplements from Merck Pharmaceuticals because you don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or better yet, don't buy anything from Merck Pharmaceuticals because clearly they're part of this apparatus.
Yes, you are right. You are right.
Uh,
Good advice, just by the way.
yes. Okay. So, but apparently, when I went down to this part of Orlando back in 2013, I went down there with Jay Essex, and we were exploring with Ben Murphy as well. And Jay was giving us some intuitive readings and suggested that Heather was actually murdered. But then when I started doing some of this remote viewing with my friend Adrian and then also with Jessica, it appears that she's still alive. So I'm not quite sure why we're getting this disconnected information from Jay. But the point is that actually, I don't know if I think I might have just said too much. I don't know if Heather really wants me to go into any of that. But she did say that she was working for INC Security Systems under Project Cyanide X. Do you have any information about that, Peter?
Not at all, because it's still in development. You know that.
Well, can you comment what INC Security Systems is? I'm assuming it's a military contractor.
Yeah, that's a problem, because they are contractor with technically no past. All the time, once they make a contract, it's fresh contract for only 1 year, and the roots, there are no roots of this company. Only some box company in Seychelles and Bahamas, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Heather said that she used to work for the Darkfleet, and those are the people that were supposedly funding omega-3. That was the name of the project. So she broke off away from Darkfleet, and now she's working this new group. So it doesn't appear that they're part of that negative apparatus. Of course, a lot of these groups, they start off possibly with a good intention, then become infiltrated.
Yes, you are right. You are very right.
Do you have any information? What do you feel about this INC Security Systems?
I think that they are good ones because technically they help us to extract information from AI. It was infected, for example, AI in Kruger runners. There was infected by viruses, very very weird. As I'm talking about computer viruses, of course. And I think that it's good, but many people don't like them because they are doing it in some very weird as disgusting way.
Well, Heather invited me to come down to that base. She wanted me to be there for a year to work on me, but I'm not necessarily open to the idea. She said Yeah, she said when she's done with me, I wouldn't have any memories of my civilian life anymore.
Yeah, that will be just a little bit problem.
Yeah, but it. So, do you think that's actually the case? If they were actually to try to integrate me with this so-called the super soldier, why isn't it that I would not retain my civilian life memories?
Because you will be technically wiped out. Technically wiped out. I mean, not physically, but mentally wiped out. You
So
will
they have to do that.
You will be maybe, like more intelligent or some more sufficient, something like that, but you will have no goddamn memory. You will be like fall from moon, and you will be in total different place, maybe in, I don't know, like in Middle Africa, or I don't know, in Asia, and you will be like, what the heck is going on here? Why I am here?
And then they have to send the ACIO in to help me. Okay, well, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. So I hope it does. But I do want to mention that recently a listener of the show made a threat to prove who I am. And I do want to mention that it appears that in order for me to actually convert into a super soldier, because again, that's what the show is about, I am a super soldier. However, in my current form, I'm not a super soldier. It's like my DNA changes, you shapeshift. And I was, from what we were able to gather through this remote viewing session, they put me to what is known as a 13D cube. And it's actually a pyramid. Even I don't know why they call it 13D cube. But I guess they give me some injections and then I turn into a super soldier. Is that correct, Peter? Is that typically how this works?
Yes, you are right. You are right.
And then while this conversion takes place, my soul, my consciousness comes out of my body. And I guess I'm viewing all this from a distance, why they turn me into the super soldier, which goes off and is injected with AI technology. And then afterward, they convert me back. And it's actually harder to convert me back to my form from the—
Yeah, that's right. Because how can I say that? You was screaming because you was telling something like it's squeeze, but I don't know what does it mean. It's squeeze. Maybe maybe it's sign of that many people thought after almost that experience, that they were so set free up, and once they will go back to the body again, that they felt so squeezed. So I don't know what the heck is going on there, but it's a weird experience.
Yeah, well, they have to give you a lot more injections, and it just takes longer. I think it's a lot more painful as well to go back, but I guess they erase all the memories of it. So apparently, I don't think they can erase all the memories. Well, I'm not quite sure how they. It's supposedly on a hard drive. This is where they keep it. But that is information we got from Lincoln Clay, and I'm going to try to get that information out there soon. But the other thing is that I guess the other way you can convert into a super soldier is being murdered. Is that how this works? If somebody was to try to kill me and I actually physically died, would I wake up as a super soldier?
There is another. Yes, this is another way how to become super soldier, that you technically need to shoot yourself into head. I'm laughing at it, but there is nothing to laugh at.
I don't want to give any members any ideas for any of the listeners, because there are a lot of weird people out there who think this might be a joke.
But this is no joke. I saw that they were like, oh, go ahead and do that. He or she shoot into head, and bam. Afterwards, these people stand up, and they were huge and full of power and all kind of stuff. This is older technology, older models, if you want to call it that way.
So Peter, I mean, sorry, James, and since I'm not necessarily in the same category as James, what would happen to me if I died in a situation like that? Would I be a super soldier too, or what would happen?
I don't know, but technically, once you are the category, give me a sec. Yes, once you are category NBC 00006, then that will be something like that. Yes.
Wait, what does that mean?
So once you will be killed by shooting, but headshot, okay, it should be headshot. Then you will be reanimated practically immediately, and weird stuff will be going on, you know.
Yeah,
They would probably have to send the MIB in there to erase the memories of everybody that witnessed it.
Yeah. Yes, MIBs are very, very crazy people because their sense of humor, I don't like their sense of humor.
They probably use that technology on themselves. And
Yes, yes.
crazy
And just by the way, they love insects. You know, cooked and baked insect, like, this is centipede.
Well,
like in the movie.
Here, big one.
Yeah, something like exactly like in the movie. Yes, you are right.
Okay. Well, are there any other ways to prove that I'm actually a super soldier? Perhaps, Peter, do you have any video footage of me converting into a super soldier in databases?
I don't have one, but on the central hard drives are plenty. But I need to go for for application, and if they will provide it or not to get in public or not. I don't know.
Well, maybe they could find some, if it's not me per se, maybe they could find just general footage in general showing a civilian actually shape-shifting into a super soldier.
Yeah, I know what you are trying to say, and I know why you are laughing, because this is so ridiculous.
Okay, so Jessica, do you think, is there anything else we should talk about this topic, or should we move on?
Yeah, I think we can move on. Regarding, well, my feeling was that the person that put something out there on YouTube about you, was he one of those cyborgs that was reanimated by Heather?
That question is directed to Peter.
Yeah.
Yes, he was, but he was way too afraid because he respectively, somehow he figured out his past, and he was just a little bit afraid.
He was confused too, right? He didn't have all his memories.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, and I felt like he was confused. He thought that you were an enemy or someone that was lying, and because he fragmented. Yeah.
And just by the way, the fact why she's so kind, looks so innocent. I'm talking about Kara from this video game. That she's bad in total, technically, because she's taking care of these little children who technically are definitely not little children, but they are beings, as you told,
Wow. So they're also morphed beings.
Yep.
Yeah. Are they like the black-eyed ones, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because once they wanna eat, they wanna eat the souls, respectively, mirror reflections of souls, and these mirror reflections in physical form, it's very weird. It's something like, for example, the iron merged together with wood, with plastic, something like that, with human meat, and after that they will eat it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Moving on here. Project Cyanide X. Do you have any information about that? With the new one that INC is working on.
Yeah, the fact is that X is a 10th version of it, and they are still not successful in stabilizing the core. So I don't believe that they will even make X means like 10. So I don't believe that they will make 11.
So this is like Gen 10, and it's
Yeah,
basically still a failure.
Yeah,
they're probably going to give up.
Yeah.
So what is this? This core is like what drives these cyborgs?
No, I'm talking about core from STEM, because technically STEM is product of Mobius. What STEM is like another form of matrix, because this what you named shared core with STEM.
And STEM is like another. Is that like a computer, or is that another?
No. STEM is Dream World. I'm talking about like another version of Matrix.
And so that's where the cyborgs are being animated from, like their consciousness?
Yes, and that's the problem. Because it's like something like Hive. Do you know what I mean, like Hive? Central computer, right?
So I guess, all right, well, we'll just have to see what happens with that with Heather. Maybe in the future, maybe you, Peter, could get in contact for her and bring her on here, if possible. You think you could?
I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. But I can already see that Kara is very pissed off at me.
Why?
Because she wrote me crazy messages,
Just right now?
Yeah, on the phone, because she hacked my phone and she wrote me crazy messages.
Well, what's she saying?
That why I bring her up to the show and all kind of stuff, and she's here to protect the children and all kind of this stuff.
Well, just allow her to share her opinion.
Yeah, because she believed that these little children are innocent beings and they are not dark ones. I don't know what does it mean, dark ones. Maybe Jessica will tell us what does it mean, not hard ones, dark ones.
Yeah, Jessica, what do you think?
Well, alternate space beings. Whether
maybe yes.
Yeah, they don't. They have a different. They don't have the consciousness we have, and so we have a consciousness that tells us right from wrong, and they don't have that guideline, and they're not guided by it, and they could do things that we would never consider doing, or we would feel guilty about, and it doesn't seem to bother them.
Yeah, and I've got a question for you, because she wrote me very weird stuff. How dare you to think that they are bad once they have see-throughable soul? What does it mean, see-throughable? I mean, I know that.
Having like an honest or a clear soul.
I know, but it is something like normal glass. But is it normal to have see-throughable soul? Tell me, is it normal? I don't believe that.
No, they live under a different rule or guideline, and that's why they're not supposed to be here, because the things that they do are forbidden for humans to do, and either they're setting a bad example or influencing the consciousness of humanity in some way that is detrimental to humanity, because it puts humans at risk of getting in trouble because of the negative guidance and influence.
I know you are right. I know that.
So you can tell her I said that.
She's hearing. She's hearing us, spying on us. Believe me.
Yeah, probably not happy with me right now, but
Yeah, definitely not.
Can you tell the audience members who this car is again, please?
Yeah, she's Kara Sandman. She's the director of Mobius, and she showed up in this game. Uh, Detroit Became Human. This is so crazy.
you know what's really weird is you say Sandman, and I have a book called I can't even see it. The Macabre Short Stories and Poems from the Other Side. And all of those stories were all published and written in 2011. And one after another, the names and indications of what I'm experiencing now is coming true. And Sandman is one of the stories. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And do you know what is Sandman? It's a little animal. It's a beetle. It's small. It's like, I don't want to say small for beetle, but like pretty small. It's like 2 inches in size, and it can dig very big hole. Very deep hole, like 2 feet deep, and it can eat like, I don't know, like thousands of ants per day. And it is Sandman. It's calling Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman's also, figuratively used as someone that goes into your sleep or prevents you from sleeping.
Yeah.
But in the dream space is probably another thing that she must be involved with. Is I've had some really, a lot of clients complaining about having their sleep space violated, being forced to have sex, even though they're saying they're not having sex, they don't want to, and they see themselves forced having sex with some of these beings.
Yeah, you are right.
Horrible torturing. So this is Mobius doing this.
Yeah, you are right.
Yep.
Now, I thought Rulix was now in charge of Mobius.
Yeah, technically you are right, but she don't care what Rulix is doing, because she is not interested in STEM anymore. Just by the way, STEM is their own version of Matrix.
Okay, so Car is also one of these AI beings?
I don't know. Because someone yes, someone no, someone not, because is she feeling emotions?
Why don't you just text her? Are you one of those AI beings?
She's laughing. She's sending me smiles because do you believe that I am feeling emotions or not? And there are like 10 question marks.
Is she connected to Cara Delevingne, the actress?
Yeah, she is. She told me that. She told me like 2 months ago that Cara is. I'm telling bullshit. That she is another version, respectively, the version of Cara Delevingne, because technically her surname started with D, and I was like, okay, so what are you talking about? That she is the version, so it's like fourth version of her. This is crazy.
Peter, can you ask Car why Mobius tried to take out the royal couple? Can she comment?
No, she's sending me only questioning marks.
Oh, why?
And LOL marks. You know what I mean? I don't know. She's she's making fun of us.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then if she doesn't want to participate, then we can just move on here. If that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing
they hired the sniper. Okay. Why royal family hired the sniper? Tell me, in the first place.
The royal family hired the sniper to
take out their own family members?
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
Well,
It has
someone's
to be
not happy.
somebody must have looked into their future. That's what I was
Yeah,
kind of picking up.
yeah,
Worry what
maybe.
they could become.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it?
But well, I mean, there's got to be hundreds of ways they could take out the royal couple. Obviously, they wanted to do it in a public way to cause trauma, the greatest trauma
Yeah,
possible.
you are right.
Now that brings up a lot of question marks.
Ah, got it. Now it make hell of the sense.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Very, very. It's
So
revealing.
because and this is it because she can already see the future. So that was the answers for questions we even don't don't ask. That's it.
Well,
Oh,
well, do you think they want to try to replace them with an AI?
I don't know. Maybe yes.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'll let the ACIO sort that one out now that you got a communication there with Carr. You can figure that out
Yeah.
when the time comes. So then moving on here, I want to mention that we also did another remote viewing session with Adrian and Jessica. She was also, we did go over it a little bit. I reviewed it with you, Jessica. But this one, we were trying to find some information about one of my clones, and in this particular, we went. Actually, what happened was Adrian had this dream, and he saw me in it. So we explored this base, and it was a Darkfleet Nazi Illuminati facility where they were kidnapping children, and they were injecting them with DNA. Actually, they were looking for children that had either Draco DNA or those who could be used for super soldiers. And for me in particular, they were using me for that super soldier part. But we were trying to find someone in the facility that would be willing to assist us in getting some answers. So deep down in the basement near the crematorium, we found there are some tunnels that go into where basically they would convert some of these children into Draco, and the ones that weren't cooperating, they would throw the children into these tunnels to be eaten by these Draco, and that's all they had to eat. But we did communicate with one of these beings, and his name is Haraka, and he claims that he was.
I need to stop ya. I need to stop ya. Do you know what's crazy about Haraka?
No.
That its original transcription is Huraka. Huraka. It's ancient being in Aztec culture. And just by the way, because they are this habit, Italian supercar maker Lamborghini have the actual made name model Huracan. Just by the way, so there are definitely not coincidences. And this car was started to produce in 2013. What we believe that these androids was set it into Detroit in first place. So definitely there are no coincidences all around the world. Definitely not.
All right. Well, I couldn't say we saw any traces of AI technologies down there, but we did see a sculpture. It was a Knight of Templar who had a spear that was pointed towards a woman that had her hands up like this, and she was like screaming.
Spear Destiny?
I don't know, but this Knight of Templar was trying to kill this woman in this statue, and there was another sculpture. It was like a 14-foot tall pyramid with the Eye of Ra on it. And this was as we're going down deeper into the facility. There was all black walls, and on each one of the doors there was a white strobing light. And we actually went into one of the rooms, and we saw what looked like portraits, pictures of these Nazi synthesizer that they're basically the past people that were part of Darkfleet helped set it up. And in that room, there was an office. We saw like a desk, and then going in the back, we saw a bedroom where they had cameras and you can only imagine what was going on there. Then that's when we went down to the tunnels. And so when I met Haraka, he said that he went by the name of Adam Kessler, and he said that he was an orphan, and that his father worked for the Nazis, and this was in Nazi Germany, and they sprayed him with some kind of chemical, there was some kind of bomb that went off and altered his DNA, and he turned into this Draco. And then they brought him into this facility, and he went to work on what is known as Project Starcraft, in which he worked as a navigator, and that's where I worked with him when I was a super soldier. And he said that his role in the Darkfleet was to go after these ET groups, planets, and so on, and steal their technology, which is actually in line with what some other whistleblowers have said about Darkfleet. And that eventually, I guess he got fed up with what they were doing and tried to revolt, and that's when they stuck him down there. But he wanted me to ask you if you could possibly help him. So
I don't know because we are just just a little bit overwhelmed by our work, and we've got stuff to do. And just by the way, we've gotten another emergency very recently coming up. So I think that it will be enough for at least for today, and we will make another interview. What do you think, huh?
Is that possible? That's the RA9?
Yes, maybe. Because
I was thinking of the pictures. I wonder if there were 9 pictures there.
Yeah, because very weird symbols. Because terminal is showing up on my screen, and very weird symbols I never saw before are appearing on it, and something is trying to communicate with me.
Is that from Haraka, the Draco?
I don't know. I never saw something like that.
Well, he said that he was very old and that his health was failing, and he didn't think he was going to be around much longer. But he was hoping that maybe you guys could do something to convert him back into a human. But I did want to ask you, Peter, is Darkfleet connected to Monarch?
I believe so. Yep.
Because when I talked to Alana Kaponlink, she's also part of these groups, and she does remember Darkfleet, but she said they were one of the worst, and of course they're all connected to the Nazis.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's almost as if like they are working, like they're converting their own people into reptilians. They want to convert humanity into reptilians somehow. At least those of us who had the DNA code for it. Because there was another facility, another room in this facility that looked like a hologram theater, and we went back into the past where they were showing where the Darkfleet took over, and in this facility, it looked like a party. There were everybody was wining and dining, and there was a waiter that was giving out blood. They had wine glasses full of blood. And then somebody got up on stage. He looked very Nazi. I'm not saying he was Hitler, but he was definitely someone high up. A lot of people had little Nazi lapel pins, and they were all joking and laughing on how they took everything over. And we weren't really able to get a period of the year, the timeline, but maybe 1950s or 60s. I don't know, Jessica, if you want to throw in there if you're picking up anything from this holographic projection, but I guess they've been in charge for quite some time.
I think that they might have given an illusion of being the 1950s or 60s, but I think it's another time period.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you are right.
What do you mean, like another timeline altogether, another parallel reality?
Yes. Yes, timeline or reality, parallel reality. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I think that at least from my point of view, we are over because the stuff what we should talk about, we had, and we can make another interview. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll have to do it. Go ahead, Jessica.
No, I didn't say anything. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, I've got so many more questions. I mean, we didn't. I think we didn't even get through half this list. I did. Oh, I did want to mention that when I uploaded the semi-assay video, my dad was in a car accident like that same moment. And Jessica, you were getting the impression semi-assay was extremely furious at me because I was also having trouble uploading that video from the past week.
Yeah,
And,
the videos didn't go up for a long time because you had a lot of problems with them, and then YouTube, shut you down, and then there was some other going on, and then before you know it, right when you posted that one that we talked about Semiasa, your father had a car accident, and I was saying that this weekend I had a similar incident happen.
That's true. You said you saw 2 car accidents
right in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah. And with my dad's incident, apparently they took him to the hospital. They couldn't find anything wrong with him. He didn't have a stroke or a heart attack or anything. So that's why I think it was a directed energy attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, Peter, we probably don't even have to ask you that, but can you confirm if that was the case?
Yes, you are right. You are right. You are right.
Okay. So why does Semiase think that this is okay to just do this kind of behavior to people?
Because she's like she is,
And of course, she killed your wife. Apparently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And because
this is
everybody. I mean, just disgusting. She's a filthy, disgusting animal, whatever it is.
Because she likes what she's doing. I am not mad at her because it's like, for example, people need to eat, to drink, something like that, and she's simply, I don't know, for some non-rational reason, angry at everybody. I don't know.
What does Jesus think about that? Because apparently she was the hermaphrodite father of Jesus. I mean,
that's the. I don't know.
You ever talk to Jesus?
I don't ask him.
Speaking of Jesus, I'm going to just. There's someone in Siberia that claims to be Jesus. Is that the one called Archangel Michael, or who is that?
I don't know. I don't know people.
Set up a cult. Okay, all right, Peter. We're going to have to bring this up next time, I suppose.
Yeah.
You can do your research, son.
Yeah. Okay. So it was not nice talk to you people, and I really need to go because, crazy emergencies are happening all the time. Even during these 2 hours, I've got 6 emergencies, and I really need to go. That's crazy.
All right. Well, I'll give your website out, Peter. Or if you need to go right now, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So goodbye, Peter, and stay online, Jessica. I'm going to keep recording.
So till then, people. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Peter.
So audience members, thank you for listening. And of course, please continue drinking the mint tea. According to Peter, it will help beans rent out a portion of your subconscious to help the wisdomers, I guess it is, not just beans, make your life better. I mean, I've been drinking the mint tea for quite some time. If anything, it's tasty. I don't know if I can't really prove or not. You drink it too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you notice any wisdomers around you?
Well, I notice everything around me. good and bad.
So you can confirm it does help.
It is very helpful. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I know I had one person come up to me recently, and he said he didn't believe Peter because of this mint tea, and Peter was telling him some crazy things about him being on Mars, and he has no memories of being on Mars. And then next thing you know, he goes to these psychics, and they're all saying, "You were on Mars, you were on Mars." And now he says, "Oh, I can't. I have to believe Peter now because these other people are saying the same thing too."
Well, just think about it. The mint is a natural herb. The cinnamon that you put in there is a spice. Just for your well-being, it's actually pretty good. But also, that they have they're living, food sources, and there's probably a combination, and of course the lemon as well. And the lemon alkalizes the body, so
yeah. So and also you need to put raw honey. So
yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The recipe's in the description. You can check that out. Also, be sure to visit Super Soldier Talk. I do update that fairly regularly. there's a lot more, of course, these videos on there, but a lot more other content. I just recently talked to another individual who his father worked with George Bush Sr., and he remembers being in underground bases, and I've been trying to put him in contact with you, Jessica. He doesn't want to come forward. A lot of people are afraid. I mean, like I said, he used to work as a sheriff, so there's a stigma involved in this, but we all come from all walks of life. But also, feel free to ask some questions on the feedback area. I mean, we'll try to get to them. Honestly, we didn't even get to any audience members' questions. I feel bad about that, but there's just so much information to go over. Also visit Neological Tech to support the work that I do, and visit Readings by Ariel to support Jessica. And also be sure to visit peter-insider.com, which is Peter's website. Apparently it's in Slovak or Czech language. I can't figure out which. It all looks foreign to me. But Google Translate will convert that to whatever language you prefer. So once again, thank you, Jessica, and thank you, audience members. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks, James.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.